Hello everyone. Let's provide the solution to this Olympiad Mathematics. 2 to the power of n minus 64 to the power of 2 equals 2 to the power of 2n. Now how do I deal with this? Now when you see a question like this, you try to think of the way forward, right? Now because I have 2 here, and I have 2 here, I can rewrite this, right? So that I have 2 to the power of n minus 64 to the power of 2 is equal to 2 to the power of n then to the power of 2. Now we're having 2 here and 2 over there, right? Now what if I take this to the left? It becomes negative. So we now have 2 to the power of n minus 64 to the power of 2 that is equal to, okay, we're bringing this to this side, right? So it becomes negative over here. Then we have brackets 2 to the power of n, then to the power of 2, then everything is equal to 0 because we don't have anything on the right hand side apart from 0. Now what do? I can now apply difference of two squares. Remember, if you have a squared minus b squared, it is equal to a plus b into a minus b. Okay, so our a now is going to be 2 to the power of n minus 64. So we have in the first bracket 2 to the power of n minus 64. Then our b is 2 to the power of n. So we're going to have plus 2 to the power of n. Then we close this here. And by the way, if you still understand to this extent, then it means I'm doing well, right? So give me a thumb up. Okay, then in the second bracket we have this, which will be 2 to the power of n minus 64. Then we have minus 2 to the power of n. Okay, so this will be equal to 0. Remember, in difference of two squares, one is positive and the other is negative. Now, this is 2 to the power of n plus 2 to the power of n. It will give us 2 to the power of n. So we can close that. Okay, let me have this. Then we still have minus 64 over there. Then we close this. Then in this and this can cancel because we're having opposite signs on, how do I call it? This is positive and this is negative. So they will cancel each other. So we'll have negative 64 in this bracket, and then we equate to 0. Now, by looking at this, instead of you opening the bracket by multiplying the whole of this, multiplying this by this, why don't we divide this by negative 64? So that we divide this by negative 64, and this is going to cancel this. And then we'll have 2 to the power, okay, 2 multiplied by 2 to the power of n, right? Close this, minus, we have 64, right? Where is the 64? Okay, we have 64, and everything is now equal to 0 because 0 divided by negative 64 is 0. Now from here, what can we do? You look at 2 here, we look at 64 here, and there's a 0 over there. We can reduce this equation, and by reducing the equation, we divide by 2 because 2 is a factor of 64. Then 2 can, 0 can equally be divided by 2. This and this will go. Now 2 to the power of n minus 64 divided by 2 is 32. Then 0 divided by 2 is 0. What do I do next? Take 32 to the other side. So we have 2 to the power of n to be equal to 0 plus 32. and that will give us 32. Okay, so at this point you can decide to take the log of both sides, but then if you can simply express them in the same base, there's no point taking the log of both sides. So here we have 2 to the power of n, which is equal to 32 is 2 to the power of 5. And this makes it very easy because we can now compare. We have 2, we have 2, we have n, then this should also be n, right? Meaning that n here should be equal to 5. So the value of n is equal to 5. Okay, so remember, we always confirm our solution. The equation is 2 to the power of n minus 64, everything to the power of 2, and it's equal to 2 to the power of 2n, right? Now, I want to put in the value of n, which is 5. So we'll be having 2 to the power of 5, right? Then minus 64. Then whatever we have, we shall square this. And then, will this be equal to what we're going to have on the right hand side? We have 2 to the power of 2, then multiply by 5 because n is still 5. Okay, so from here, what do I do? Remember that, okay, let's still continue. 2 to the power of 5 is the same as 32, like we rightly said. So we're having 32 minus 64. So whatever we have there, we square it. And this is equal to, on this side, we have 2 to the power of 10, since we multiply the powers. Now, 32 minus 64 will give us negative 32. Remember, the whole of this will still be squared. Now, will this be equal to 2 to the power of 10? Let's continue. We still have this 32 as we are having negative 2 to the power of 5, but then there is a 2 outside, and that is equal to, or should that be equal to 2 to the power of 10? Okay, now I can equally open this bracket. If I open this, I'm going to have negative 2 to the power of 10, because 5 times 10 will 5 times 2 will give us 10. And then, do you think that will be equal to 2 to the power of 10? The answer is yes. Okay, every time you're raising the negative value to every time you're raising the negative value to an even power, it gives you a positive value. So this and this are the same thing. So what are we saying? We have confirmed that x to be equal to 5 satisfies the equation. Thank you for watching, and if you love this video, please do subscribe to my channel so that I can get more of this type of videos. Thank you for watching to the end.